breastplate and horned helm that marked her as a full Hellknight, sworn to the Order of the Scourge. The chief steward, a consummate professional, tipped his head downward in an extremely correct nod, affording Jheraal precisely the degree of courtesy that her status warranted. "It is our honor. Should we be expecting any of your associates?" As he spoke, his eyes flicked to the star of bleeding lashes painted on Jheraal's shield. That was the Scourge's sigil, and the steward's unspoken query was clear. Will the Order of the Rack be coming? It was a delicate question. The Hellknight Order of the Rack, based in Citadel Ravad near Westcrown, was the primary order of Hellknights in the city. Jheraal's order, the Scourge, was less well known and much less strongly represented, which was both advantage and disadvantage. It gave her greater independence, but fewer resources to call upon. Less currency with the common people, too. As Westcrown had long been troubled by rumblings of dissent, her Imperial Majestrix, Queen Abigail Thrune II, had granted the Order of the Rack wide-sweeping authority to detain, question, and even execute suspected rebels in the city. And although the Order of the Rack held the preservation of peace to be its highest duty, the methods it chose to achieve that duty were not always peaceful. In much of Westcrown, the Order had a fearsome reputation. Few Wiskrani were glad to see them coming. House Selvarian, Jheraal recalled, might have more reason than most to be wary where the Order of the Rack was concerned. There had been some trouble with the eldest son, who'd gotten caught up in the idealistic fervor of the young. He hadn't been accused of any serious wrongdoing, and his father's influence had hushed any whiff of scandal. But nevertheless, the boy had been sent packing to a crusader's exile in Mendev. That had been years ago. Well over a decade, in fact. But fear could take a long time dying, and Jheraal couldn't blame the servants of House Selvarian for being cautious. "The Order of the Rack has no part in this investigation," she said. Some of the servants relaxed visibly at her words. Out of long habit, Jheraal noted their faces, as well as those of the servants who didn't blink at all. "The Dotari will assist in whatever capacity they can, but they will not send a separate investigator. In this matter, I serve both the throne and my order. All of us wish to see your master's killer brought to justice. You have my condolences for your loss." "We are grateful for your kindness. I have the honor of being Belvadio, chief steward of this house. Lord Abello Selvarian should be arriving late tonight or early tomorrow. In the meantime, the household staff is at your disposal." The chief steward clapped his hands, signaling the end of the assembly. In a flurry of curtsies and bows, the maids, cooks, and house servants dispersed. Jheraal dismounted, and one of the grooms led her horse away. Two servants, a pair of boys who looked no older than 14, remained behind at the steward's signal. Accio and Jheraal were the first to discover what had been done, Belvadio said, clearing his throat. "They found Napandi, one of our guards, lying in the hedges, and came together to wake me a little after midnight. I hastened to wake the young master, and that is when we found him. Master Othondo had been murdered in his study, where he was accustomed to read nearly until dawn. There are still 2 servants unaccounted for. We have not found their bodies, but I fear the worst." The chief steward took a breath, quavering only slightly. "Where would you like to begin?"